Salam. This is Swarup Mazumder, the English News Bulletin from Bangladesh Television Chattogram Center. Let's begin with the headlines. Mr. Sheikh Hasina asks for global efforts to allow women more to excel in science. BNP again preparing for arson violence, sensing defeat in the next election, says Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir. BNP creates anarchy in the name of movement, and they will not be allowed to do so in future, says Dr. Hassan Mahmoud. And death toll crosses 24,000 in Turkey and Syria earthquake. Bangladeshi rescue team joins search operation in Turkey. Those were the headlines, now on to the details. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina today stressed the need for global efforts in changing the mindset of all to allow more women and girls to excel in science, urging the women folk to act as an agent to change them. The Premier said this in a video statement at the 8th International Day of Women and Girls in Science Assembly held at the United Nations headquarters, New York. The Premier said it is unfortunate that women represent only 12% of scientists and 30% of researchers globally. All must work to address the barriers in mindsets and learning environments to allow more women and girls to excel in science, she added.
We must work to address the barriers in mindset and learning environments to allow more women and girls to excel in science. I also urge women and girls to act as the agents of change themselves. The women and girls in science and technology must remember that they are not alone. The steps they take would help open the door further for their sisters around the world. In Bangladesh, I have made it a priority to have our women and girls lead in every aspect. Our women are doing very well in the fields of research and higher education.
Awami League General Secretary, also Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir has said BNP is again preparing for arson violence, sensing that it will not be successful in the next election. There are symptoms of using the militancy as well, he added. The Awami League General Secretary has directed leaders and activists of his party not to go for any attacks, but asked them to respond when they come under attacks. Obaidul Qadir was speaking at the Triennial Council of Sunamganj District Awami League at Sunamganj Government Jubilee School ground today. He said, election is the only means of justifying popularity and BNP will join the polls in the end.
হিংসা করে লাভ নেই সুনামগঞ্জ গ্রাম থেকে শহর হয়ে গেল কত জ্বালা এখানকার বিএনপি নেতাদের বিএনপির গণ অভ্যুত্থান গোলাপগঞ্জের গরুর হাটে গিয়ে গুরুতর আহত এখন খোঁড়াতে খোঁড়াতে পদযাত্রা করছে ছুটতে আর পারছে না ফেসবুকে লাইভ দিয়ে হুঙ্কার করে সৎসাহটাকে আসুন মোকাবিলা হবে রাজপথে আমরা রাজপথে আছি তলে তলে কৌশল কি করছেন জানি ভোটে জিততে পারবেন না সেজন্য এখন চোরা গুপ্তা পথে আবারও আগুন সন্ত্রাস করবেন প্রস্তুতি নিচ্ছেন জঙ্গিবাদকে আবারও মাঠে নামাবেন তার ইশারা আলামত আমরা বুঝতেই পারছি আক্রমণে যাবেন না আক্রমণ করলে পাল্টা আক্রমণ করতেই খালি মাঠে গোল দেব না শক্ত খেলা চাই বিএনপি শেষ পর্যন্ত পানি গোলা করে আসবেন শেষ বেলায় আসবে না, এসে যাবে কোথায়, না এসে পালাতেও। একজন পালিয়েছে, বাকিরাও পালাবার পথ খুঁজছে। আওয়ামী লীগ পালায় না। কার পায়ের তলায় মাটি আছে, কার পায়ের তলায় নাই, এটা প্রমাণ করতে হবে কোথায়? নির্বাচনে প্রমাণ হবে জনগণ কাদের পক্ষে। জনগণের ইচ্ছাই আমাদের ইচ্ছা।
Sunamganj District Awami League President Mutiur Rahman presided over the council. Awami League President members Jahangir Kabir Nanak and Sayyida Jibun-Nisa Haq, organizing secretaries Ahmed Hussain and Shafiul Alam Chaudhry Nadal, Planning Minister M. A. Mannan, District Awami League General Secretary Barrister M. Enamul Kabir Imam, and local members of Parliament also spoke. Later, a new district committee was declared with Nurul Huda Mukut as president and Noman Bak as general secretary. At that time, Ubaidul Qadir has announced Sunamganj District Awami League's former president Mutiur Rahman as a member of Awami League's advisory council and former general secretary Barrister M. Enamul Kabir Imam as a member of the executive committee. Information and Broadcasting Minister, also Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmud has said BNP creates chaotic atmosphere in the country and they will not be allowed to do so in future. He said this at a peace rally at Fatehpur High School ground organized by Fatehpur Union Awami League and its associate organizations at Hatajari Upazila in Chattogram protesting BNP Jamaat's anarchy and terrorism.
আমরা বিএনপি যেখানে পদযাত্রার কর্মসূচি দিয়েছে আমরা সেখানে সমাবেশের ডাক দেই নাই। বিএনপি যেখানে ঢাকা শহরে বিভিন্ন সময় কর্মসূচি দিয়েছে আমরা সেখান থেকে 30 কিলোমিটার দূরে, 10 কিলোমিটার দূরে, 15 কিলোমিটার দূরে আমরা সমাবেশের ডাক দিয়েছি, শান্তি সমাবেশে। আমরা কোনো পাল্টা কর্মসূচি দেই নাই, আমরা পাল্টা কর্মসূচি দিতেও চাই না। কারণ বিএনপির কতটুকু শক্তি আছে আমাদের জানা আছে। আন্দোলন ঈদের পরে, বিএনপির ঘোষণা আন্দোলন শীতের পরে, আন্দোলন গ্রীষ্মের পরে যখন আম পাকবে তখন, আন্দোলন যখন মাঠে তরমুজ আসবে তখন, যখন আম কাঁঠাল পাকবে তখন আন্দোলন, আন্দোলন রমজানের পরে, আন্দোলন ঈদের পরে, আন্দোলন কোরবানির পরে, আন্দোলন বার্ষিক পরীক্ষার পরে। এই যে আন্দোলন, আন্দোলন করতে করতে 14 বছর কেটে গেছে। তারা আন্দোলন করতে পারে নাই, বিএনপি আন্দোলন করতেও পারবে না। বিএনপি পারে শুধু বিশৃঙ্খলা সৃষ্টি করতে। এই দেশে রাজনীতির নামে কাউকে বিশৃঙ্খলা সৃষ্টি করতে আমরা দিতে পারি না, আমরা দিব না। আওয়ামী লীগ রাজপথের দল, আওয়ামী লীগ রাজপথ থেকে গড়ে ওঠা নেতৃত্ব। আমরা জীবনকে হাতের মুঠোয় নিয়ে রাজনীতি করি, বহুবার জীবন মৃত্যুর মুখোমুখি দাঁড়িয়েছি। এখানে যারা নেতৃবৃন্দ বসে আছে তাদের অনেকে জীবন মৃত্যুর বহুবার মুখোমুখি দাঁড়িয়েছে। জীবনকে হাতের মুঠোয় নিয়ে রাজনীতির পথে নেমেছি, ক্ষমতায় যাওয়ার জন্য কিংবা শুধু ক্ষমতায় থাকার জন্য রাজনীতি করি না, জনগণের জন্য রাজনীতি করি। রাজপথ থেকে আওয়ামী লীগের উৎপত্তি। আওয়ামী লীগ ক্ষমতায় থাকুক কিংবা না থাকুক, রাজপথে সব সময় থাকবে, জনগণের সাথে আওয়ামী লীগ সব সময় থাকবে।
President of Chattogram North District Awami League M. Salam and General Secretary Sheikh Abdul Rahman also spoke at the rally. Aspirants for the presidential election will have to submit their nomination papers to Election Commission on Sunday. Scrutiny of nomination papers will take place on February 13th p.m., while nomination will be withdrawn till 4 p.m. on 14th. On February 19th, the 22nd presidential election will be held at 5 p.m. in the Jatiya সংসদ complex. The president may hold office for 5 years from the date of assumption of office. Incumbent Abdul Hamid assumed office on April 24, 2018. His 5-year tenure will end April 23, 2023. According to country's constitution, members of parliament are voters in the presidential election. Awami League has the absolute majority in current parliament. In that case, there is no possibility of any party other than the Awami League to give a candidate to the presidential polls. If there is one candidate for the presidency, the election will not require a meeting or voting in parliament. Now, international news. And Syria earthquake. 4,000 people have been killed and tens of thousands injured after a magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck Turkey and Syria on Monday. At least 20,600 people have been killed in Turkey, and 3,500 people are known to have died. Defying the odds, rescue workers are finding people alive in the rubble more than 100 hours after the earthquakes. World Health Organization said survivors, many of whom are homeless, could face a secondary disaster as cold and snow lead to worsening and horrific conditions. In the meantime, national help, UN Guterres has announced a donor conference next week. The top humanitarian aid agency in the US has pledged $85 million in urgent life-saving relief for earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria. Meanwhile, a 60-member combined rescue team of Bangladesh reached Turkey's Adana military airbase on Thursday in order to stand by the earthquake-hit people. Later, they went to Adiyaman town and began rescue operations. There are 12 fire service members, 24 members of Bangladesh Army, and 10 doctors in the 60-member rescue team. Director General of the Fire Service and Civil Defense Brigadier General Mohammed Mainuddin said that the rescue team is working relentlessly as per directives of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. As many as 10 provinces in Turkey have been ravaged by the terrible earthquake. Bangladesh government has quickly responded to the rescue operations. The President, Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Bangladesh issued separate condolence messages. The national flag of Bangladesh kept half-mast. At a press conference on Thursday at Turkey Embassy in Dhaka, Ambassador Mustafa Osman Turan expressed his gratefulness to Bangladesh. Meanwhile, a cargo plane of Bangladesh Air Force left Dhaka for Syria on Friday night, carrying 11 tons of relief for earthquake-hit people. Of the relief, there are 428 packets of dry cake, 347 packets of biscuits, 23 packets of blankets, 102 packets of tents, 44 packets of medicine, and 170 packets of sweaters. Bangladesh Air Force's Group Captain Jamiluddin Ahmed will lead the mission. Russian forces struck critical infrastructure in Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, and launched multiple strikes on energy infrastructure in Zaporizhia on Friday, as Moscow stepped up its attacks in Ukraine's south and east. The strikes happened just one day after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited several European countries, lobbying for long-range weapons. Kyiv said it's already submitted a request for F-16 fighter jets from the Netherlands. Ukraine's military chief also confirmed 2 Russian cruise missiles flew over Moldova's airspace before entering Ukraine. The missiles were fired from the Black Sea, said Valery Zaluzny. Moldovan authorities corroborated the Ukrainian statement, but reports that Romania's airspace was also breached were not confirmed by Bucharest. The Moldovan Foreign Ministry has summoned the Russian ambassador to protest against the unacceptable violation of our airspace by a Russian missile, according to a statement. Back to national news. Deputy Education Minister Mohibul Hassan Choudhury urged the students to contribute to the national economy by gaining practical education as well as work experience in specialized universities. He made this call at the opening ceremony of the 2021-22 academic year at Chattogram Veterinary and Animal Sciences University in the morning. Managing Director of Rural Poverty Alleviation, Foundation, Mazumder Rashid Safdar was the key speaker on the occasion. University Student Welfare Director Professor Dr. Omar Farooq Miazi chaired the program, while Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. A.S.M. Lutful Ahsan, Treasurer Dr. Muhammad Kamal, and other concerned also spoke. 245 students have been admitted in 3 faculties of the university in the academic year 2021-22. The annual cultural program and Beta Festival of Eden Noor English School has been organized in the school premises today. Renowned actress Dareen Jahan inaugurated the festival, while National Agua Award winner and social worker Ershad Mahmood was the chief guest on the occasion. Principal of the school, Mahanur Tasneem, presided over the event, and chairman of NNP Foundation and Eden Noor English School, Khalid Mahmood, was the key speaker. It was also addressed by General Manager of BTV Chattogram Center, Noor Anwar Runju, film actor Simon Sadiq, Chattogram Jila Parishad Panel Chairman Dilwara Yusuf, and local dignitaries. Speaker said, Beta Festival is a part of country's culture, and every child must bear and hold every aspect of the culture to become a complete human being. Earlier, guests and dignitaries went around various stalls of the festival. Later, a colorful cultural program was held at the school premises. Now, news on sports. Cricket. Bondor Kotripokho Krida Shamiti secured first win in CJKS Premier Cricket League, beating Pirates of Chittagong by 37 runs at the Amiazi Stadium today. Meanwhile, Pirates of Chittagong suffered a hat-trick of defeats after losing 3 matches in a row. Batting first, Port Authority Sports Association scored 237 runs in 49 overs and 2 balls. In response, Pirates of Chittagong managed to score 201 runs in 49 overs. With this win, Bondor Kotripokho collected 3 points from 4 games, and Pirates of Chittagong got 2 points from the same number. Meanwhile, Shah Jahan Shango and Friends Club will face off in the Premier Cricket League tomorrow. Now, weather news. Weather may remain dry with partly cloudy sky over the area. Moderate to thick fog may occur over the river basins and adjoining area. Light to moderate fog may occur at places elsewhere over the area during late night till morning. Prognometry says night and day temperature may rise slightly over the area. The highest temperature in the city today was 30.7 degrees Celsius, which is 2.7 degrees Celsius above the normal temperature, and the lowest temperature was 16.5 degrees Celsius, which is 0.3 degrees Celsius above the normal temperature. In Chattogram, tomorrow the sun will rise at 6:27 a.m. and will set at 5:48 p.m. Now, the tide schedule of Konofulu River tomorrow. First low tide will start at 4:26 a.m. First high tide will start at 10:55 a.m. Second low tide will start at 4:52 p.m. and second high tide will start at 11:19 p.m. That's all from the newsroom. To end the bulletin, a recap of the headlines. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina asks for global efforts to allow women more to excel in science. BNP again preparing for arson violence, sensing defeat in the next election, says Awami League General Secretary Ubaidul Qadir. BNP creates anarchy in the name of movement, and they will not be allowed to do so in future, says Dr. Hassan Mahmood. And death toll crosses 24,000 in Turkey and Syria earthquake. Bangladeshi rescue team joins search operation in time. Thanks all for being with us. We invite you to watch our tomorrow's bulletin at the same time. Maintain the health rules and stay safe. Khuda Hafiz.